are this great country of ours and your national anthem.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Martinsville High School for Martinsville Artesian Girls Soccer here on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Also streaming live on the IHSAA TV Champions Network as well. Glad you can join us here as we are trying to help prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus by live streaming more events this fall from home Martinsville contest, and we're starting it off the first day really of school for the kids. I know they start back on Wednesday, but this is the first day really that they got back at it full force, and we've got a soccer match here this evening as the Artesians open up the season against Bloomington South, and the South Panthers already 1-0 on the campaign after a 5-0 victory on Saturday over the Jasper Wildcats. So the Panthers beating the Wildcats in the opener. This is a very good Bloomington South ball club, and they happen to have a new head coach this year. David Prawl comes over from Bloomington North to take over as head coach at his alma mater, Bloomington South. So that's a little bit of a strange fit there, but good results early on for them with a 5-0 victory in their opener over the Jasper Wildcats. Mia Moody, the head coach for the girls soccer team, and Coach Moody able to send me the starting lineup for the Artesians, and we appreciate that. Morgan Schrock will be at a forward spot. The other forwards will be Ashlyn Crow and Brittany Dawson. Annie Beers, Rory Dilbone, and Delaney Pueblo in the midfield. The defenders, Maddie Mosgrip, Charlotte Mason, Sophia DeMoss, Hannah Reuter, and in goal will be Dakota Meadows. Martinsville employing that 4-3-3 set to start here in the opener. And as you're seeing the effects and the precautions in place for the COVID-19, the player introductions being done after the players have taken their spaces and positions out on the field here at Martinsville High School. 40-minute halves as we get ready to go here and continue to introduce the starting lineups. As you heard for the Artesians, the goalie, Dakota Meadows. And Coach Moody looking for Dakota to get back to the form of her sophomore year when she was a mid-state conference selection. Athletic Director Kip Staggs continuing to introduce the starting lineups here for the girls.
Number 20.
Full disclosure here, I have not called a soccer game in a long time, so bear with me. I played soccer as a youngster. Of course, that was before they had soccer in high school, so I had to play at the YMCA. I spent a lot of time at Indiana University not playing, but watching games as a high schooler. Saw Jerry Yeagley and what he's done, and I actually sat by his son, Todd Yeagley, who is the head men's coach at IU, on a plane trip. And so if you use the Holiday Inn Express formula, I should know something about soccer. So we'll see what happens here. As we're underway, Bloomington South had a good time of it in the JV game, defeating the Artesians 9-0, the score. Playing with the ball in the midfield right now for the South Panthers, and we'll set some of the players for them. Artesians trying to clear it and are able to do so. Brittany Dawson getting it into the middle to Morgan Schrock. Coach Moody looking for big things out of her this year at the front of the Artesian attack. And South will clear it. For South, you'll have Kristen Morgan, who's back in goal, and she was excellent last year for Bloomington South, the Herald Times Player of the Year. Nora Doyle, Aviv Hager, Lydia Wiley also out on the pitch for the South Panthers as they start. Kenna Alexander, who is a move-in as the attack goes wide for the South Panthers. Grace McKay, Emma Shaw, Malia Miller, the leading returning goal scorer for Bloomington South, 18 goals, 7 assists last year. Lydia Kielhausen, Maya Hall, and Katie Majorsack, the other starters for Coach David Prawl. His first year on the south side, moved over from Bloomington North. Nice feed into the penalty box. The shot will go wide, though, by Bloomington South, and Martinsville again will go with the goal kick. I'm going to try to get the clock set up here correctly momentarily, so bear with us as we get going. It's really easy to keep the clock here because it doesn't stop, but have to start it to begin with. Morgan Schrock doing a nice job to kind of create some space, and the Artesians will have the kick here to see who takes it for Coach Moody's bunch. I think we had a change in some of the rosters as I look here. That's Charlotte Mason up ahead. Schrock again trying to get control of it, but it's cleared out of there by Bloomington South. Some physical play by the Artesians early on. Rory Dilbone taking down one of the South players. Goalie will come up to put this into play here. So full-on attack mode for Bloomington South in the early going. Head coach David Prawl, first year here at Bloomington South was at Bloomington North, and South's had a ton of success. They're the 4-time defending sectional champions and looking to make it 5 in a row. South into the penalty box. Nice service, but a nice job there by the Artesians. Dakota Meadows to come off of her line and come up with it. Peyton Smith doing a great job on the camera work there. So not only our first time calling soccer in a long time, but also our first time doing it in a while. So got Silas McFarland running a camera along with Peyton Smith here as the RTV students at Martinsville High School being allowed to come in and produce the games. They're social distancing up there, up on top of the press box, have their mask on as well, so we can bring you Artesian athletics. A nice attack. Meadows knocks it up in the air and over the top of the goal. The second attack by South just goes wide, and Martinsville will have it back once again. Meadows puts it right there on the corner and gets ready to put her foot into it. We'll be bringing you most of the home varsity girls and boys soccer matches this season, along with most of the volleyball home matches as well. Again, South on the attack. They've done a nice job of putting the pressure on the Artesians' defense, but Dakota Meadows, like Coach Moody was hoping, showing some of that form that she had the sophomore year when she was a mid-state conference, all mid-state conference selection. She's had to make a lot of saves early on and has. Now the corner kick for the South Panthers. Let's see what this set piece looks like for him and Coach Prawl. Meadows off her line initially, then back, and the ball headed out of bounds. And again, another goal kick for Martinsville. Dakota, the senior, tees it up. Boys get back in action tomorrow. That game starts streaming probably about 5:55 if all things go well. They'll be battling Edgewood. Talani Insube will begin his second season for Martinsville. The helm took over a couple years ago for Daniel Urban, who had a great run. Mia Moody taking over for longtime coach John Marion. John doing a great job and obviously serving our country as well on several deployments, and just got back, I believe, last March, again from Saudi Arabia. Service into the penalty box. Martinsville trying to get rid of it. South settles it, but Meadows right there. So the attack by the Panthers, but again, who is it? It's Dakota Meadows, and she is getting a workout early on in that long sleeve yellow goalie jersey. And it could be a little bit cooler outside, but she's done a great job. At least the weather's not that great deal of humidity we've had a few weeks ago here. But still, South applying the heat here early on to the Artesians. Nice move again by the Panthers. Free, and again, it's Dakota Meadows, and that's a great reaction. She was leaning to her left, got the hand up to the right to punch it away, and the Artesians avoid another South attack. But, again, we'll get penalty kick service from the left side now, and most people being the right-handed kickers, you get that opportunity for more of a little bit of a bending kick into the penalty area, and we'll see what happens here from South, as it's their leading scorer, and you can see why early on. Malia Miller, she gets it up. Meadows coming up, trying to punch it out off her line, gets up, though, and recovers, and they get it right back to Miller in the penalty area. Service in the middle. Martinsville can't quite clear it, and South will finish. The opening goal of the match for South, number 32 for the South Panthers, Katie Major-Sack. Just go find her. Yep, I think she's in the middle right there. Yep, zoom in all the way on. So Katie Major-Sack with the goal, and South leads 1-0. A lot of pressure by the Panthers early on. And Meadows just couldn't quite make the diving attempt. So South draws first blood. Like we said, they beat the Jasper Wildcats 5-0 in their opener on Saturday. And they've got a lot of experience back Coach Prawl looking for a very talented freshman class. Again, it was Miller who settled in the penalty area. Couldn't get a good, clean look at it, and Meadows up with it again. You can hear Coach Prawl talking about wants his players to find the back post in the penalty area when the service happens. Press box right up against the sideline here at Martinsville High School. Martinsville will have it. They have not spent much time on the attack in this one. Sub for the Artesians in. We'll go back to the action now. Again, the attack by South. Nice through ball. They get to it. South with the attack and just over the outstretched arms of Dakota Meadows. Not sure if Dakota able to deflect that or not, but it just goes high off the crossbar on the attack by Nora Doyle, the sophomore forward. Pushing forward, and no, Dakota did not get gloves on him. Annie Beers will come out, a sub into the lineup for Coach Moody. I believe it's Eliza Osler. So Dakota again will go with the goal kick. South trying to get it under control. The Artesians send it over here to the near side of the field. Probably go out of view here momentarily. I think the Artesians got new uniforms, if I believe, and so I think some of the numbers are a little bit off here. I'm trying to get them taken care of. And another goal there by South. And again, for South Panthers, number 32. Haiti Major sack. She's had 2 already, so 2 goals for her. And South out in front, 2-0. Service up ahead. Martinsville looking for a run at it, but the South goalie, like we said, a all Herald Times Player of the Year last year. Miller on the attack, has it poked away. And nice shot by the South Panthers. It's their 3rd goal of the evening. Nora Doyle. Tough angle and a tough go at it for Dakota Meadows. From the right side, not much room, and puts it in the upper corner. The upper left 90. I think that's how they refer to it. It's a physical play there by the Artesians. Sophia DeMoss. Three 0 South lead. Try to get the goal, the clock set back up correct here.
Get a touch, Wiley. Get a touch, Dora.
And the attack, and boy, that goes. An impressive shot by the goalkeeper who came up and drills it. Well, you're seeing why she was the Herald Times Player of the Year last year. Kristen Morgan, the senior, comes up out of her goalie area, takes the direct kick, and kicks it in for goal number 4 of the opening half for the South Panthers. Now she slides back a little bit, but way off her line in the back. Really serves as almost another offensive player. And there, just moments ago, you got the example of that. Again, South on the attack, going aggressively. Service into the penalty area, headed on that time by Miller, and it goes wide. And so Martinsville will try to clear it. We said we'll be covering girls soccer varsity matches at home, boys varsity soccer matches, and also most of the girls volleyball matches. There's some conflict in a couple of times between some soccer matches and volleyball matches, and since volleyball has more matches on the year, we'll be going with the soccer matches. But that may change. Everything's always up for change as we move forward in this new era of COVID-19. Maya Davis in, loses it out of bounds for the South Panthers. I'm struggling here trying to keep the clock straight, so my apologies. Dakota Meadows slow to get up, and so we'll have a stoppage in play. I saw that time. You know, she's done a great job, though, far with the onslaught by Bloomington South, the Panthers, on the prowl early on for Coach David Prawl in his first year at South. It's his alma mater. He had been at Bloomington North prior to that, moves over and takes over at South with the 4-time defending sectional champions, and he's got a good club again. They came in ranked 20th in the initial poll of the season. Meadows trying to get the goal kick to clear it. Here comes South again on the attack. The right side, and then trying to service into the penalty area. It's kind of been their MO. But you see that on a lot of teams. South again, trying to settle it. South again. Martinsville trying to get the attack and take it away, and the Artesians trying to clear it, but South keeps it alive. Over to the left side now, they'll try it. Service into the penalty area, and it's cleared by Meadows. Dakota very busy here in the opening 40. Pueblo with it. Martinsville trying to settle it. Artesians trying to mount an attack. They've struggled to get it on their half of the field. It stayed on South's half of the field for the majority of this first half of play. A little two-man game for the Panthers, and then the Artesians trying to clear it. Very aggressive, South is. And now they've got it back on the attack. On the left side, they'll try to work it back into the middle. Service into the middle. Headed on and saved by Meadows. So Katie Majorsack looking for goal number 3 there. Again, the Panthers on the attack. Back to the middle for South. Now they'll go over to the right side again, and they'll mount the attack up the right sideline into the penalty area. Nicely done. Settled the left-handed boot, or left-footed boot that time by Majorsack, and she's been a major thorn in the side of the Artesians here early on as she delivers goal number 3. Miller settles it to Majorsack. The left foot finds the back of the net. And South leads at 5-0 here in the early going. I cannot get this clock thing down. I'm going to have to get Kaylee Houchin to run my clock too. My apologies. Like I said, I haven't done a soccer match in a long time. I think I even talked about early on the fact that the clock would be something I wouldn't have to worry about that much. Well, that went out the window after the first goal. South leading 5-0. Throw in forthcoming for the Panthers. Again, they'll go on the attack. Doyle trying to go on the penalty area. Ball go out over the end line, and it'll be a corner kick for South. You may have to. Kaylee just said she would remind me every time. If she could do that, that would be awesome.
Right there.
Corner by South. High into the penalty area. And nearly another goal that time by Majorsack. It just knocked away by Meadows. And then the attack that time by Catherine Lacey, a freshman. She played well. You could see some flashes out of her in the JV game. Really good offensively. Getting some time at it, but she couldn't get the ball settled enough on the left-handed attempt, or left-footed attempt. I got to get that right, too.
Come on, girls, with it. Again, Wiley, go.
Pueblo up with the ball, trying to keep possession of it on the Artesian half the pitch, but here comes South once again. They'll bring it to the middle, and a little 1-2 game. Nicely done by South. The attack saved by Meadows. Lydia Wiley. Shot from just inside penalty area. It's the first game, and you know, like the off-season training regimen basically out the window for all of these teams. They had to do it on their own, and I'm sure you're going to see early on some conditioning issues. I don't know if that's the right term or not, but I'm sure there will be some teams that early on will trying to deal with trying to get into game shape when really they haven't had even anywhere close to what's been a normal preseason or off-season. Like you said, we're going to be doing the best we can with the coverage of the Artesian Athletic home events, live streaming-wise, and then at least football game-wise, I believe most of the away games will be done by those hosting schools, and we'll pass along the links to their live streams when they become available. Bedford North Lawrence will fall into that category on Friday night when the Artesians open on the road at Bedford. Majorsack in the middle, knocked away. Talked with athletic director Kip Staggs prior to the match tonight and said that there will be 300 tickets that have been made available, and those will go on sale tomorrow, but just to varsity players, cheerleaders, and managers. That's it. So the live stream is going to be it. I wish we could be there to do it, but we understand why we aren't. So we will leave it in the capable hands of Bedford North Lawrence to tune in and watch. Hopefully the Artesians get win number 1 as the Brian Duggar era kicks off for Martinsville. Coach Duggar moving from Southport, where he was the offensive coordinator for quite some time, and if he can develop the quarterbacks that he had at Southport the same way here with our guys, we're going to be in great shape because he's had some really good ones in the past couple of years at Southport. And so hopefully he can bring some of that same knowledge he used on those guys to here and see what can happen for Martinsville as they begin their season Friday night on the road at Bedford North Lawrence. 7 o'clock kickoff still, Coach Staggs, I believe. And like we said, we'll try to pass along the live stream whenever we get it. Pay attention to GoArtesians.com, their Twitter page, and our feed as well. Again, South on the attack. It's the freshman. Creates some space and finds the back of the net with the left foot. Catherine Lacey. Coach Brawl said in the Herald Times preview article that he's got a good freshman group, and right there you get a look at one of them. Lacey puts it in the back of the net. It's a little bit more of a attacking mentality out of her and finishing mentality than in the JV contest. You kind of tell that she was chomping at the bit to get against the varsity competition and shows what she can do with the ball. And here she has it again. Poked away, though, by the Artesians. But, again, South relentless. And when you've got a veteran goalkeeper behind you and some veteran players up front, you can afford to be that aggressive. And a 6-0 lead doesn't hurt either. I think Kaylee was supposed to tell me about the clock, and she may have, but I probably just didn't hear her. But I'm going to get it set here in a second. Ball will go out of bounds. Get a look there at Major Sack, who's had fantastic contest here for South. Meadows trying to clear it, and Martinsville will send it out of bounds. Substitution in for South. Miller back on. Doyle back off. Or off for the first time, I should say. And South awaiting the throw in on the far sideline. Again, South on the attack, and Martinsville trying to clear it. Able to do so. And now taken away by South, and they'll turn it right back into the attack. Aviv Hager, left side. Into the penalty area. Martinsville trying to clear it. Can't quite get it done yet. Major Sack up with it. The left-footed shot will go wide to the right. So Meadows will do what she's done quite a bit here early on. Put the ball down. Corner of the goalie box and get ready to go with the goal kick. Settled by the Artesians, and that's a nice clear. You can tell Morgan Schrock, up front on the attack for the Artesians, just dying to try to get an opportunity, but hasn't had that chance. Miller lets some people go by in the penalty area. A left foot finish for Miller. So South, early on. With the lead. Tomorrow night it will be the boys soccer against Edgewood. Coach Stagg's helping me out with that. I'm getting very old. I can't remember what I'm doing half the time. So he thought he was going to help me out a little bit, and I appreciate that. As you could tell, I was going slow, trying to collect my thoughts here. So the Panthers will let their goalkeeper get some action. She's not had a ton of action here, really nothing on the defensive side of it, but she did score a goal on a direct kick from probably, 30 yards out maybe even farther, 40 yards out. I'm just guessing here. Major Sack's been a major pain, so has Miller, and she finds the back of the net again. It's about a minute apart with the goal for another contest for Miller. So South opened up the season 5-0 over the Wildcats from Jasper and are up on Martinsville here, 8-0. South again, clearing. Major Sack, upper head. See some direction. There's two-man game going on by South. You can see some concepts that they're displaying. These kids have worked together. Coach Prawl taking over this year, moving over from Bloomington North. Knew he was going to have a good bunch coming back, and they played well here in the opener. They've got 13 goals thus far in their 3 halves of play. The 5 goals in the 5-0 win over Jasper, and then 8 here. And then when you have a goalkeeper who is the returning Herald Times Player of the Year, you know you're going to be in good hands, especially with the offensive weapons that Coach Prawl has. And you see his work in like a little give and go by South. Little two-man game, and another attack just goes wide. Meadows has had a workout back there. She's done a nice job. She's got several saves for the Artesians. But South has been relentless on the offensive end here in the first 30 minutes of this one. Like we said, boys soccer tomorrow. 6 o'clock kick. They don't have a JV team, so Coach Tulani Nsube will bring a club in against the Edgewood Mustangs, and we'll see what they can provide. Not sure. Talked with coach and assistant coach Willie Spina last week just a little bit about what they have. And Caden Rottencrans back, Carter Lyon, Joyce Stremming, some of the seniors, Jackson Fry. I think they'll be looking for some big things out of junior Sam Foley as well. So we'll see what happens for Martinsville tomorrow when they battle Edgewood. Again, another corner kick, and it's like by the position of where the press box is, it's hard to get all that stuff in the corner. Some subs in and out of the lineup. Again, Meadows with the save.
First ball, Sarah. Second. Get a touch, Amaya.
So Meadows, with about 8 minutes left here in the first half of play, puts the boot into it. Again, South gets control of it. The left side puts the brakes on, service back into the middle. South on the attack. Meadows, another stop. Well, Dakota probably getting a couple games worth of saves here in the opening half against the South Panthers. Coach Prohl's got them on the prowl early on in the season. Kicked away by the Panthers. Martinsville mounting one of their few attacks here. Eliza Osler there that time and poked away, but Martinsville have it now. Looks like they'll have some work here in their half of the field to throw in. Going to Morgan Schrock. It's poked away. South settling it up ahead. Miller back on the attack. Into the middle of the field. Still with control. A little give and go. Miller gets it back, but cleared nicely by DeMoss for the Artesians. Thank you. The jerseys have changed. So a little bit of a hamstrung here a little bit with the jersey numbers. But we'll have that fixed when we get back here. Wednesday, girls play again. Mooresville, the opponent. Mid-state conference matchup. Boys also play Thursday against the Mooresville Pioneers. And that, if I believe so, that rivalry's a little heated. If I could say, I think I could accurately describe that rivalry between the boys' soccer teams as maybe heated. But all within the realms of good sportsmanship, but just heated competition. They really like to play against each other, and it brings out the best in each team. So we'll see that Thursday, 6. Nice save that time by Meadows. Service right in the middle of the penalty box, and again it was Miller trying to come up with a goal and knocked away by the Artesians, Dakota Meadows. Again, Martinsville trying to save it, and it's another goal by the South Panthers. This time it's Kenna Alexander, I believe. So, South leading 9-0. So substitutions now for South. Underway, about 5 minutes left. Pablo controlling, defending. South takes it away. Nice ball right at the feet that time of Doyle, but she couldn't quite control it. Same tendencies with South, likes to do a little bit more into the middle and maybe more ball control now with South as they kind of regather themselves and then go back on the attack. You see them coming up the sides of the field and trying to get service back into the penalty area. Early on, you saw a lot of that on the right side heavy, but here as of late, it's been more to the left side. And the Artesians trying to counterattack. Take it away. Morgan Schrock finally gets her feet on it, and now quickly turns it into offense, fires it to the left side, and that will go nearly out of bounds, but cleared by the goalie for Bloomington South, Kristen Morgan. And again, right away, South on the attack. Nora Doyle up the right side this time. Fancy footwork, trying to get it into the penalty area, but knocked away by the Artesians. Not sure who 16 is for Martinsville. Like we said, they changed some numbers, so I don't know if that's Hannah Reuter or Maddie Moskrip. I believe, maybe, if I'm looking at my lineup, that's where it would be. That left back knocked out of bounds. Or outside back, I should say. Hogan Meadows trots to a familiar spot on the field for the Artesians. He gets ready to deliver it. Up ahead. Out of bounds, getting a indication from a line judge. Ivan Herbert on the line here on the near side. He's had kids come through here, Martinsville High School, play in the boys and girls program. His son, Phillip, I think they were going to look for big things out of him this year on the football field, but unfortunately for him, he had some damage to one of his knees. But Phillip, a great athlete, great speed, tremendous leaping ability, and I think he was going to slide right into Coach Duggar's offense as a receiver, but unfortunately for him, he'll have to do some rehab and get back at it next year. South, the back pass, and here they come again on the attack, trying to go up ahead again to Doyle, and Martinsville knocks it out of bounds.
2 minutes.
Quickly. As Coach Staggs indicates 2 minutes left. And I believe that's a rule in soccer while we're doing it. And I believe they also must count down the last 10 seconds verbally.
Sarah, get in there.
Maybe they should start doing that at AAU basketball games too. I know our student section at basketball game counts down the last 10 seconds sometimes, but sometimes it's wrong to try to. Great save by Meadows. Try to do it wrong to get the other team to shoot quicker. The freshman there already has one goal, Catherine Lacey. Got the rebound from Meadows, who made another fantastic save. She has been under constant duress the whole game. The attack by the Panthers, and has done a fantastic job.
Back up. Back up.
Said the Panthers attack has been on fire. They've turned up the heat here early on, and Kaylee Houchin has done the same thing by opening the windows in the press box. But we're going to close down a little bit and try to get the air to take over here at halftime. We'll keep it here at half and talk a little bit with Coach Staggs, maybe get him on if he's got an opportunity, and talk with him about some of the things that are going on.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
We don't usually have an opportunity for
2,
halftime guests
1.
and such, but we'll see. We may have it. That'll do it for the first half of play here. So we're going to take a break. and come back with some halftime info here on the MHS Rewind YouTube live stream and the Champions Network.
Don't do that.
Work can be overwhelming.
School can be overwhelming.
I don't feel like I do enough at home.
I don't feel like myself at home.
I don't know if I'm making the right choices for my future.
I have no idea what to do with my future.
I have anxiety.
I get so depressed.
I just wish someone could understand.
We may be your parents.
But we've been in your shoes.
And we fought the same battles.
No matter what you're facing,
We're here for you.
And you're not in this alone.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
And we are back, everybody, to Martinsville High School at the half. It is Bloomington South out in front, 9-0 for first-year head coach David Prawl. Moves over from Bloomington North to take over the four-time defending sectional champion South Panthers, his alma mater. So that move, although would probably seem strange in circles outside of Bloomington that you go from one school to the next, not so much when you know that that's his alma mater. He had a veteran club coming back at South, and they have done a fantastic job here in the early going with a 9-0 lead. But the Artesians and Coach Mia Moody's done a fantastic job just trying to keep that onslaught under control, and Dakota Meadows has been under constant duress the whole game, whole match, but has done a nice job here early on. We want to bring in now at half Artesian Athletic Director, speaking of nice jobs, Kip Staggs, and he'll talk with us here at half a little bit. We're both socially distanced and masked up here in the press box, talking a little bit about some of the changes that have come about because of the COVID-19. And, Kip, I know you guys have had a ton of work that you've had to put in to just come up with plans and some of those things. Can you talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you guys have had to do and some of the precautions and things that you guys have put in place here so Artesian Athletics can continue as safely as possible?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you and MHS Rewind for offering this opportunity for Artesian fans as well as neighboring schools to the opportunity to see education-based athletics take place. And, you know, when we started back on July 6th, we had a lot of questions. We had spent a lot of time in the month of May and June trying to figure out how we can get people back on campus and what we can do and what we need to do. And the first thing we started off with was just basically the kids have to check in with their coach, and there's a series of questions they go through. And then from there, you know, we wear masks, and we've got hand sanitizer, and we had to have athletes work in small pods to start off with. So we took the very conservative approach where we were more focused on fundamentals and conditioning and doing things the right way those first 2 weeks in July. And then once we got the last 2 weeks in July, then we were able to start opening up some things where we were able to play some 5-on-5, 7-on-7, 3v3, whatever coach might want to do. And then, you know, finally we get to August 3rd, and at that point the fall season officially starts, and we've really just done a nice job across the board of keeping an eye out for student athlete safety. And then we start turning our direction to games. You know, how do you manage spectators, and how do you handle what you do from there? And so, you know, we had to put a plan together, as other schools have done, and decide how many spectators to allow in each event and how to distance and those kind of things. So, you know, we're going to learn as we go through this how to do things a little bit better. But tonight we have a little over 100 fans in attendance. They're able to socially distance, spread out a little bit. The bleachers are partially utilized, and a lot of lawn chairs being used. So, for our first event, I think we've accomplished the majority of things we're trying to set out to do.
I know you sent out a plan last week, I believe, about what was going to happen with attendance, or late last week, early this week, about how attendance would be handled and what you guys could do. Will you talk a little bit about specifically about some of the things that's going to happen, like at a volleyball match? And I know a lot of people probably really concerned with what's going to happen at a football game in terms of how they're able to attend and who's going to be able to come to events and what that's going to look like, not only here but on the road as well.
So at volleyball, we're allowed up to 250 spectators in the facility. So, we'll monitor the number of people just like we've done tonight, whether it's just physically counting that number of people here or through a ticketing system. So, at the volleyball match, you're going to see some things different where the benches will be different in the sense that seats will be staggered. They'll be spread out along the sideline, if you will. You'll see the volleyball team members not switch sides as they normally have done in the past. You'll see some rules meetings, or the captains' meetings will be different, and they'll be at the center court instead of front of the scores table. So you'll see a few changes there. And then when you direct your attention to football, especially on Friday, our capacity levels go up. In our plan, we're up to 50%, but we won't have 50%. We're going to have less than that, but we're going to focus just like we are now, parents, all sport ticket holders. They're going to have first preference into these events. And then from there, we'll look at gold card members, faculty members, students, et cetera. So, there's a lot of things still to roll out. And, as we sit here, I'm just thankful that we can play. There was a time in May and June where I wasn't sure this was possible. So I'm just very thankful that we have this opportunity to play. And I know there's 38 high school football teams already this Friday that we know will not be playing for whatever reason. So we're just very fortunate, and we're going to have to continue to stay on top of it because things may change daily. This almost seems like the spring where you've got a bunch of rains coming in and you're trying to get games in and contests in. So there's a lot of things we're monitoring. Audrey Jackson's doing a great job at central office, kind of overseeing the pandemic and some of the things that's attached to it. So a lot of things in place. Got to continue to move forward. We need the community's help. We need the athletes' help, the coaches' help to keep us in the opportunity to play.
And then also, like you talked about, and we've talked about on the broadcast as well, that's just what's going to be some of the pieces here for Martinsville. When we go on the road, that stuff out of your control, that stuff, those are going to be different depending on what county they're in, what those people are being held to. So there's nothing really we have any control over when it goes there. We would love, like we said, to be able to go to the football game on a Friday night and stream it back to our fans with our play-by-play kids, with our people doing the cameras and things. We aren't going to be able to do that. Bedford will be providing a live stream like we talked about coming up. IHSAA has come out with the Champions Network. They've had it for several years. Tons of high schools are really kind of coming on board that now with live stream. You can go and get the IHSAA TV app and be able to find a lot of stuff that's happening. So some of Martinsville's games, not just volleyball, basketball, or volleyball and football and stuff, will be able to be seen online as well. So, the live stream piece, kind of a good thing, if you will, for not only us here. We've been doing it for several years and covering Artesian athletics for a long time. But when you go on the road, be checking into some of those places and things, and we'll certainly pass that along because we can't control the road stuff. That's what the other teams are going to be doing, and they're doing obviously what's best for them and what their people are letting them do, and we'll certainly pass that information along to them when we get it in terms of what's going to happen on a Friday night or Thursday night during a volleyball match.
Well, you're exactly right, and this conversation for us started back in May. Mid-State Conference athletic directors sat down, and we were talking about opportunities to do exactly what you're talking about. And we believe that the majority of schools in our conference are going to be able to offer those live streams. We want to encourage people to obviously if you have a son or daughter playing, we want you to be there. But, if you're in a high-risk category or if, you just don't feel comfortable going to the athletic event, this gives you an opportunity. It keeps our crowds down, and we're able to move forward. So, that's the primary goal of it. And, we'll just continue to monitor it, and we'll get information out to goartesians.com or on our Twitter account at Artesian Nation as it comes to us. And that's why I've told people here in the last few weeks, you really have to watch our website and Twitter account because information is going to roll quickly, often. It may change within an hour. And so we've really just tried to push that information out that way.
Kip, we appreciate it. You guys have done a fantastic job getting everything here, getting it safe so people can get back on the field, and hopefully at some point we can get back to a little bit of normalcy here.
Well, I think that's what we all hope for. And but, one of the best things that happened was on July 6th when the kids came back on campus. And I think it reminded a lot of us at that time why we do what we do. And so it's important for our student athletes to participate. We know it helps them academically. We know it helps them in the classroom. We know there's fewer discipline problems. They attend school more often. And so what we do is worthwhile.
Coach, we appreciate it. And I know you guys will be busy. And everybody tune in, goartesians.com to see what's going on. And then follow us, obviously, on our MHS Rewind social media to be able to see the live streams and things that we're going to do.
Thank you very much.
We're back underway here at the second half. Athletic Director Kip Staggs giving us the lowdown on everything that is COVID-19 related here at Martinsville High School. And like he said, and this stuff changes on a daily, even hourly basis. And I know he talked about the 37 schools, I believe he said, that aren't playing football this Friday night. If you pay attention to the media, you're going to see the two biggies. And it happened a few weeks ago. That was Center Grove and Warren Central said they weren't going to play. Last night, New Pal, who's riding an unbeaten streak in the regular season, announced they wouldn't play because, as head coach Kyle Ralph said, quote, a volume of COVID-19 or players missing because of COVID-19 issues. More likely as it comes out because of quarantine issues. So hopefully those things get under wraps and control, but it may change on a daily, hourly basis. The scrimmages happened last week as well, so we'll see what happens as we move a little bit further into the week. And hopefully Martinsville is scheduled to play Bedford North Lawrence on Friday, can get that first game underway for head coach Brian Duggar in his first year. Dakota Meadows comes up with it. We'll see how things happen here in half number 2 for the Artesians. Get our cameraman changing their filters here. We have not done live stream soccer for a long time. I have not called a soccer match for a long time. So it's a learning experience for all of us, but glad that the kids in the RTB program able to do it. They're masked up, they're socially distancing, and we approved. You heard Coach Staggs talk about Audrey Jackson, who's done a fantastic job at the CEC of maintaining and controlling a new position, monitoring what's happening with the COVID-19 and here at the school and what's all going into place. And, we had a plan with her, cleared it with her that it was be okay, that we came and broadcast the games, felt it was important to try to show just a little bit of normalcy if we could with the live streaming. So our kids getting that special exception to come in and do those things. So we can bring it to you guys. And glad we're able to do it. We mentioned the Champions Network, IHSAA TV. You can get the app on iOS, Android. Watch it at home. Some of those over-top streaming services like Roku and such that you can get to it. But you can also find us still on YouTube, our MHS Rewind YouTube channel. but we've been kind of pushing the IHSAA TV. It's a new affiliate feature that we belong to, and maybe selfishly a little bit pushing it because our former MHS Rewind student, Heath Shanahan, is the director of broadcast operations at the IHSAA, and he's in charge of the Champions Network. So kind of cool to say that Heath is a former student of ours, and he's done a fantastic job. And this was in the works before the COVID hit. He was really trying to expand what they were able to do and also allow for opportunities for educational broadcasters. Several years ago when he was in my class, the live streaming wasn't happening. That wasn't really something that was as prevalent and as easy to do as it is now. And so, the IHSAA was more willing to allow educational broadcasters to do games and come into events because there weren't as many of them, because it wasn't as easy to do, it wasn't as inexpensive to do. Well, fast forward now to 2020, and it's so inexpensive that everybody's trying to get in on the action, and not just educational broadcasters, but people out in the communities and things. And so Heath was really trying to do educational broadcasters right, and still having to answer to his bosses ahead of him, and how do you kind of balance the two, and press box space at areas around schools, and charging fees for people to be able to broadcast games and those kind of things. And so this affiliate situation kind of came up and was in the works prior to all this happening, and a lot of schools have really kind of jumped on board once the COVID-19 came out, and we're realizing that, you're probably going to have to live stream events like we're doing here tonight with girls soccer to be able to accomplish some of the safety protocols that your health departments and your cities and your counties and your governors want you to be able to accomplish while this pandemic is still going on, and, before we get some sort of a vaccine out there to kind of maybe combat it a little bit and keep everybody safe, not only the players but the spectators as well. And so Heath's done a fantastic job with the IHSAA TV of getting that set up, providing an outlet through Blue Frame Production, or Blue Frame Technologies, and their streaming software production truck that has allowed people to get on board and be an affiliate. By being an affiliate, still allowing us to be able to do IHSAA games without having to pay a fee to do that, and all those things. So he's been a fantastic friend to educational broadcasters, and has done a fantastic job at IHSAA TV and expanding that, and it's really kind of blown up if you take a look at it and just see all the events that are available there. Now, some of those are behind what they call a paywall, and that's up to the individual schools to do that. But, you're probably going to get that at some events. There may be some away football games that are going to be behind a paywall. But when you start thinking about it, I know at least on our games, and we do it, that there are a lot of people that will watch our games on YouTube TV and used to, and now can watch it on the IHSAA TV app if they want on Roku and stuff, that they stay at home and they're watching the game on their TV with their family. And, it's just like watching a normal event as South scores again. But goal number 10 for South. Lydia Wiley with the score. And we've got an injury on the Artesian goalkeeper. Get a look there to see if she's okay. South leading it. So we'll see if we'll get a running clock probably now here in the second half of play with South leading. and they'll roll it. But getting back to the IHSA TV, it's, get on there, take a look at some of the games that will be available. We will try to promote. We obviously will promote our broadcast that we're going to do, and you can bank on the fact that we're going to be doing home boys and girls soccer and home volleyball, most of those. And there may be a change later on in the season in terms of depending on what events scheduled, if there are multiple events scheduled at the same time as to which one we decide to do. And then we'll also do all home varsity football matches as well. And we won't be doing the JV matches, and that's just simply we're stretching our kids thin as it is right now with the coverage when you start thinking about what we normally do in terms of which is just football games, and now adding another full slate of the home events. I believe as I looked at it, there may be 18 additional events that we're live streaming this year. So trying to do the best you can to get the varsity contests and do all those kind of things. You'll see those on our social media. You can watch them free of charge, free to view, if you will, the FTV on YouTube TV and IHSA TV. And then some of our away games will be on as well. I think our mid-state conference schools are going to be stepping up and doing that. But some of those events will be pay-per-view behind a paywall. But I think the alternative for going to that is a good one. And you can't think of it in terms of, oh, my goodness, they're charging $10 to watch a game. A ticket is only $6. Well, you probably have your whole family at home watching that contest, and you're actually saving money. So some of that money goes, it's a split. Most of that money will go to the school, and then the Blue Frame Technologies as well as IHSA TV, I believe, will probably get some of that. And it's a great service, so take advantage of it, please, if you do. And, everybody's trying to do the best they can to make the best out of this situation, and just being able to offer that to the fans, because the alternative is nothing. The alternative is not being able to see anything. And so I think that's awesome. And if you can support, especially school broadcasters watching it, please, please do so. And we'll pass those along, especially even if they're behind a paywall. We'll let you know that, hey, this is a school broadcast from a school-owned or a school affiliate, and a TV program is doing this. And even though it's behind a paywall, go ahead and pay for it, because it's going to support that program, and those kids deserve your support just as much as the athletes do. South leading. Martinsville back in action Wednesday in a mid-state conference matchup against Mooresville. South settling, and a goal by Miller again.
Step to that ball.
Think we're going to see some subs. Miller tapping herself out. Now it's going to be interesting with soccer, because we're probably not going to get the lights that'll take effect until later on, and by that time the game will be over, with the sun starting to set in the west just over what would have been Smith Elementary. So as we zoom in a little bit with our cameras, you're going to see that the cameras become a little bit darker, but just the way that we set it up and have to have it set up with our camera equipment to make it better and more convenient for everything to be able to run, especially since the fact is that we haven't been in the classroom yet to be able to help refresh the kids, if you will, on some of the instructions that we're giving. But again, a big thank you to Peyton Smith and Silas McFarland, who are running cameras today. And right on cue, Peyton's got a nice ISO shot on the throw-in coming up. Him and Silas have done a nice job. 2 more tomorrow night coming in, so those kids doing some of their e-learning at night, if you will, and actually learning. Well, in the CTE programs at Martinsville High School, this is one of them. Kids That's how they learn how to do things. They get hands-on, and so this is giving those kids great experience. And we've had kids in our program that have gone on to do some pretty cool things in radio or TV and film. We talked about Heath. If you pay attention to social media, you'll probably see a former Artesian and a Rewind student as well, Samantha Johnson, who's a reporter down in Evansville and doing a fantastic job. Maddie Ashley, a former student as well, a reporter in North Carolina. And I know one of our former students, she's still in school at Ball State, but she got an internship where I interned when I was in college at Wish TV, and Annie Keister did some nice work as being a reporter. I'm sure she'll be joining Maddie and Sammy out in the field after she graduates as well, because she did a fantastic job during her internship at Wish TV also, still finishing up at Ball State. Got Grace Seward working down in Evansville as well in production, and Andrew Walker in media. He's been writing for Hoosier Huddle. It's a website, and lots of kids doing lots of things. Have kids out in Hollywood that are editing, kids that own their own production companies, and so those kids have done a fantastic job representing Martinsville, the community, and also our MHS Rewind program. And you don't have to want to be in athletics or radio, TV, and film to join RTV as well. You get a good experience to learn how to work as a team and have a lot of fun. The kids in the program really seem to enjoy it and get the opportunity to come out here and live stream some games. And so pretty neat opportunity for those kids that are in the program. So if you're watching, you're an MHS student, check out RTV for the opportunities to do some of those things that those former students have gotten to do. Dakota Meadows picks it up, and she will come out once again. Martinsville trailing here to Bloomington South as the sun, I believe, may be done for the day, taking a nap. So we're going to have to get our cameras set here in a moment.
Step 2. Talk. We got to communicate.
Get a little, see there the little flash of light as the students change filters on their cameras. Would like to cover it a little bit more professionally, but I think you get the idea of what's going on. Would normally like to have another person in here, but with the socially distancing, not really probably going to happen. Believe we're going to have former student Zane Spangler, who got some experience in a booth last year and really blossomed, did a great job calling some of the basketball games last season. Think he's going to be here for a couple of the boys' matches. He's getting ready to go to Franklin College, and they're going to start next week. He'll play golf at Franklin College, so think he's going to come back and help us. I hope he is, because he knows a heck of a lot more about soccer than I do. So I think that'll be good. I do know that that's a corner kick that South will have, and they've had several of them here today. Again, apologies for the fence in the shot, but there's nothing we can do about it. We're kind of up against it, and just the way that the field and the press box set up here, doing the best I can. The kids, again, doing a great job, Peyton Smith and Silas McFarland. But tune in tomorrow, 6 o'clock, boys soccer, Edgewood. The Mustangs will ride in here to Martinsville High School and battle the Artesians. Second-year head coach Tulani Nsube, and also assistant coach Willie Spina back. Willie had a lot of success out here on the pitch for Martinsville, helped his former coach for a couple of years. Was at Center Grove last year, now back here at Martinsville. So we'll see what happens. I think he is teaching, as Kaylee Houchin is telling me, at Wooden this year. I believe he is. So good to have Willie back in the fold, helping mold some of those young Artesians. And we'll see what they can do tomorrow against the Mustangs. And then Wednesday, girls back at it against Mooresville, Mid-State Conference matchup. And then the boys on Thursday wrapping up the week, Mooresville as well. We'll have all these for you, MHS Rewind YouTube channel, as well as streaming live on the IHSA TV app. Here we go as South back on the attack. Still 20 minutes left in this one. And Coach David Prawl has his team firing on all cylinders. They opened up on Saturday against Jasper, the Wildcats, and won 5-0. Schrock trying to get a touch on it, couldn't quite do it. Like we said, up front in that Artesian 4-3-3 lineup, and hasn't had very many touches, but you could just tell she's just chomping at the bit to get an opportunity to get in on the action offensively. And it's a tough matchup for the Artesians to open with against South, because they are the 4-time defending champion, new coach in David Paul. He knew he was going to have great players back. Like we said, their goalkeeper, and she's been lonely back here on the defensive side for South. She keeps creeping up closer and closer to midfield. She actually had a goal. She came up and took a direct kick outside the penalty area, probably from about 30, 35 yards out, and scored to show off her leg early on in that first half of play. But she hasn't had very much action, but she was the Herald Times Player of the Year last year. And so when a goalie gets that, you know that she's good and she is back. They also had their leading returning scorer from last year back as well, in Malia Miller, and she's done a nice job. And then Katie Majorsack's been fantastic as well, as South puts it in the back of the net again. So South, Kiera Robinson, a freshman, and I don't know if I said this, I've said it a couple of times, but Coach Prawl knew he was going to have a good freshman class, and I know a couple of freshmen have found the back of the net. Robinson there. Earlier on, you saw Catherine Lacey do the same thing with the left foot in the first half of play for South as well. So South Panthers out in front. Over the Artesians. We'll wrap this live stream up pretty quick after this is over with, and those kids get back at it. And still on the red schedule here for the MSD of Martinsville, which means at-home learning. And then at Martinsville High School, they had a red day today. It's changed the scheduling, and it gives me a headache sometimes looking at it, trying to figure it out. And I know that Ryan Wagner's done a fantastic job of trying to get that all worked out. Man, that dude has worked his butt off this summer with making plans and things as South finds the back of the net again. And Ryan, I know a couple of years ago, stepped into the broadcast booth at some softball games to help us out, and he has just been working hard. And, you know, people that weren't familiar with the administration, you know, you had Jesse Burgess.
I just called Kip. I don't have any control because the lights are over there.
As they're trying to get the lights on, you can probably hear Kaylee talking out to the officials, but Jesse Burgess was our interim principal last year, and Jesse got a job at Southmont High School. Congratulations to Jesse. And so We had to hire a new principal. Audrey Jackson and Ryan Wagner were then kind of promoted to assistant principals, and then Audrey got the COVID position, and Brian Duggar, who was brought in as the head football coach, was then brought in to take over for Audrey. We then hired Sarah Basham as a dean because we used to have 2 deans. They made them 2 assistant principals. And then Misty DeRito came in as well as our new principal. So there's a lot of changes in the administration, and really the only person that's still there is Ryan. And so Ryan, I mean, that dude had to do a lot this summer, and he did. He stepped up. He did it well, and so hats off to him. It's Morgan Schrock. You kind of see right there Morgan, just like we said, just waiting for the opportunity. Powerful right leg, and maybe a little bit anxious there. Probably could have had a couple of more touches on it before she fired the shot, but you can't blame her as she tries to get that one in the back of the net and try to get the Artesians on the board here. But really appreciative of all the stuff and the work that the administration team has done here at MHS. And like we said, especially Audrey and Ryan, because those guys and gals were here all summer when basically, they were it. So I really appreciate what they were able to do as well. And I'm hoping Ryan's listening because, new studio, new equipment would be awesome, too, if he ever gets control of anything. So, but no, I kid because he I know he probably doesn't get enough credit in doing that kind of stuff. And those guys, a lot of times, get a lot of the heat when things go on and for not knowing things. And I know my wife's an administrator as well. All that administration team has had a tremendous amount of work and things to do this summer, and really once the school year started a couple weeks ago, because like you heard Kip talk about earlier, everything changes so quickly, and so they're doing their best to try to do the best they can for the kids in this community, and believe that please believe that those guys and gals are really working their butts off to try to make this experience the best they can. There is not a textbook for this. And just because one school doesn't mean that every school is going to do it the same way, and what fits for one community or one school isn't going to fit for everybody else. So, hats off to the administrators, the administration team, all the way up through the CEC with providing some leadership to it. And then I can't leave out the teachers because, man, if you think this stuff is easy to get these things and these lessons out to these kids, I mean, it is not. The teachers are working harder than they've had to before to just try to deliver just some semblance of education. And so please thank them. Please thank them when you get the opportunity to do that. And, they're doing what they can and trying to provide the best education to your kids under these circumstances that are not ideal, and that absolutely nobody has a playbook for how to attack it and approach it. So when you get an opportunity, thank your teacher, thank your administrators, because, they're trying to navigate best they can through this time that we have here. Still time left here. I'm sure Martinsville would like to try to find the back of the net if they could. The JV team got a big win for South as well. I know Coach Prawl has made some changes. Schrock trying to get the ball on the attack, but South just will come right back at it. And Dakota Meadows is going to be worn out tonight. But she's still going strong. Puts a boot into it, and we're set to go. We talked with Kip Staggs at halftime, and he talked a little bit about some of the changes that are in place with the attendance policies and those kind of things. We've kept harping on it that we'll have the home girls and boys soccer as well as the volleyball stuff. Volleyball will really be attendance squeeze with just 250 being allowed in there. And like Coach Staggs said, it's probably not going to be that either. They're going to keep a hand tally of it, or they will have that through the ticketing account. They'll be able to go 50% capacity at football, but that's probably not going to happen either, that they will probably not reach that 50 capacity. So, just some things to keep in mind, that you'll be able to watch a lot of those events. So if you are feeling a little bit ill, you feel that you're at high risk category, stay at home, tune in to the varsity games here on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel or IHSA TV app as well, and not only support the athletes on the field, but support the kids in the RTV program also. And, hey, if you want to throw some sponsorship our way, you can email me at school. We'll throw your name up on the board, whatever it may be, and make that happen as well. And it'd be a win-win-win for everybody, for the student-athletes, for the students in our program, and for your business as well. So if you've got that opportunity, please try to do that also. But stay tuned for us. Stay tuned to our social media, Go Artesians, at Artesian Nation on Twitter as well. People still do use Twitter. I know it's not the preferred method of social media. You also see it on Facebook too. But to be able to get some updates on what's going to happen. What we know now for football is the Bedford game on Friday, still on as we speak. But 300 tickets to the Artesians is what they got. And those will go on sale tomorrow. Varsity players, cheerleaders, and managers is who will get the crack at that. But they will live stream the contest as well, and we'll pass that link along to you. Kind of interested to see all the other live streaming options as well. And get a chance to see how our kids stack up to other programs producing events. And the kids tonight, Silas McFarland, Peyton Smith, have done a nice job on soccer. It's the first time we've done it. Like I said, full disclosure before this game kicked off, that I hadn't called a soccer game in a long time, and my knowledge base of soccer is limited. I have enough knowledge to be dangerous, but try to do the best we can, and hopefully you've enjoyed the broadcast. I know South has enjoyed playing. They've done a nice job here in the first year for head coach David Prawl, moving over from Bloomington North, taking over his alma mater, Bloomington South. They got their opener, the win over the Wildcats of Jasper High School on Saturday, 5-0, and they followed that up with a 13 spot on the board here over the Artesians and Mia Moody. But Martinsville will get an opportunity to get back at it against a Mooresville squad in Mid-State Conference matchup on Wednesday. That game, again, should be slated about 7 o'clock. Martinsville trying to mount an attack, just can't quite get it done. Playing forward up there for Martinsville. Not sure the numbers were a little bit different, and I had the starting lineup. Coach Moody sent it to me. I even got a roster from Jason Dillbone. I got a roster from Coach Staggs, and none of it matched up. So, and I'm not familiar with all the girls out there, so I'm not really sure who everybody is, and Kaylee's done a great job of helping me out. But some of the numbers aren't just matching up. I believe, if I remember, that's Sophia DeMoss with it right now, number 6 for the Artesians. And she's, I think that was verified by the fact I heard her teams yelling, Sophia, good job, Sophia. And she's done a nice job of keeping possession there. Several defenders marking her, but it goes out of bounds, and Martinsville will have the throw-in. It's like Eliza Osler may take it for Martinsville. Had Eliza's sister for several years in RTV, Olivia. I'm sure she's probably not watching at home, but if she is, hi, Olivia. Is she here at the match? So Olivia will be going to Ball State. Not sure. I think she may be studying TCOM, but really liked having Olivia in class the last couple of years. Did a nice job for us. Annie Beers, I believe that's who it is, up ahead. So I'm starting to figure it out the best I can. Martinsville trying to get some offense going here, and you can see them being a little bit more deliberate on their attack, being on the spacing. You know, the South has just done such a great job. They've been relentless, especially early on their attack, and they're so quick, so many weapons that they have. Very, very good with their plan deliberately. They were able to get a lot of balls into the penalty area, and then were able to get shots on goal. If Dakota was able to save, she was able to save a ton of them. If she was unable to corral it on the save, they had a lot of defenders there, or a lot of offensive players there to be able to put it back in as well. So South done a fantastic job here. But Martinsville, you will see their team improve as the season goes on. A tough way to start. Opener, South's already played. South, four-time defending sectional champion, coming back, and a ton of players coming back. And even if Martinsville would have been at their best attacking-wise, they were going to find it hard going because South, a very, very good goalkeeper in the net as well. And Kristen Morgan, like we said, she was the Herald Times Player of the Year last year. So I don't think, like a goalie winning a Player of the Year for an area is like equivalent to an offensive lineman winning it, like the recognition and notoriety, because goalies obviously have more of an impact on a match in soccer than what, maybe not more than an offensive lineman, but they get more notoriety. The goalkeepers make more names of themselves because they're involved. They're so important in the outcome of a match. But I think when you've got big goal scorers and everybody likes the offensive numbers and those kind of things, I think that just shows how much respect that Kristen Morgan had in terms of being able to win that award from the HT, and a solid South defense. Tough to win matches when you can't score anything. You get some draws, but if you don't give up any goals, the team's not going to beat you. So, and then you couple that with the offense that South has, and it looks like it's gotten even better this year, then you're going to have a pretty dangerous team. Came in ranked 20th in the state, and they look all of that here in the opener over Martinsville. 13-0. Martinsville trying to clear it out, and they do. Tomorrow night, here, soccer, boys, Edgewood, and Martinsville. We'll have it for you. The live stream will begin at about 5:55. You'll see the countdown. And then hopefully at about 6 o'clock, we'll get kickoff underway. Probably the national anthem, and then the starting lineups introduced in the new fashion. Everybody goes and takes their position on the field, and then I'm guessing Coach Staggs will probably be back here in the broadcast booth doing the PA announcing. And then you've got volleyball as well, so at Indian Creek. The life of an AD, we talked about earlier with all the other administration, and, man, the life of an AD is not an easy one. They are everything. They are everywhere. So, and I say everywhere, and they can't be everywhere, especially when everybody's playing, but they try to do the best they can, especially when they have home events. They really count on a lot of their workers. And so, please be kind to them as well when you're entering an artesian event, because they're just doing their job. And like we said, we would all love to be back to normal, but this is our new normal for right now, and we're trying to do it in a safety and trying to make everything the best we can for everybody. So, thank those workers because they're out there. They don't have to be here. Thank your administrators, your coaches, like you said, the athletic director, all of that, your teachers especially as well, because this has been a trying time not only for you guys but for them as well. And, man, like I said, those teachers, the administrators put in a lot of work, and those teachers are putting in a lot of work too. So, thank them. I know that I see it firsthand because my wife's an administrator. So when I see her working at night, late at night doing it, and she's getting calls and emails and texts from her teachers on the weekend about getting things ready for the e-learning, you know that they're putting their time in to do it. So please thank them and tell them thank you when you get that opportunity because they're doing the best they can for the kids.
2 minutes, 2.
And the 2-minute mark now announced by PA man Kip Staggs. And again, a big thank you to my students in the RTV program. They're stepping up to do this in the 2 tonight. Silas McFarland and Peyton Smith doing a nice job running cameras here in our first soccer live stream that we've had for a long time. We'll be back at it tomorrow night. 2 new kids tomorrow up there, socially distancing, masking up as well as we bring you Artesian soccer. The boys' soccer as they battle Edgewood, the Mustangs, tomorrow night. And hopefully they can get a good result here on the Artesian home pitch tomorrow. Trying to throw in some of that jargon, and hopefully I'm using it in the right spot. So Dakota Meadows picks it up as we tick down under a minute to go in this one. This time she's just going to throw it up ahead and see if Martinsville can maybe mount an attack and go out of bounds. Those officials, do they always do the varsity and JV games? Man. They get a workout doing that as well. And they rotate throughout. One of them has the main referee. The other ones are the line judges there. So I guess you aren't as active if you're a line judge, but you still got to run up and down the lines. I guess it's kind of maybe a little AAU refish. You stay like one half of your court and talk to the fans. I know the line judge aren't talking to the fans, but you kind of get the point here as Coach Staggs counts it down.
6, 5.
Dakota Meadows, I think appropriately enough, winds up with the ball in her hands to end the match as South ends it for the Artesians here. 13-0 the final. We're going to wrap this one up. The Panthers and David Prawl, they moved to 2-0 on the season. Martinsville, Mia Moody, 0-1 in their first game out. Back at it Wednesday here at Artesian Field as they battle the Mooresville Pioneers. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on the MHS Rewind live stream, as well as IHSA TV for joining us. I'd like to thank Peyton Smith for running camera, along with Silas McFarland as well. For those students, I'm Eric Meyer. So long, everyone. Bloomington South with the big win here tonight over Martinsville.
One of the changes this year that you'll notice throughout the course of the year is the post